banks are collapsing, but I have a plan. In the last couple of months, we've seen at least 3 banks have a really hard time and collapse. First Republic Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank. Oh, these were once big names. Now they are no longer with us. It seems that the trend with capitalism these days is that socialize the losses, privatize the gains. As simple as that. And with this plan, it means that financial institutions and other big corporations are implementing higher risk strategies because they know if something goes wrong, they will be bailed out. Nothing's going to happen to them. They will be bought out. Additional funds will be invested. Government will come up with a loan program, and they'll be fine until next time they can play the same game again. And all of this has created a lot of uncertainty for everyone. Where should you hold your money so it's safe? And what should you do? And it's not just the banks you need to be concerned about. Traditional fiat currencies are also having a hard time. If you look at the purchasing power of Indian rupee, Turkish lira, Egyptian pound, or how it trades against US dollar or other major currencies, you can see that the purchasing power of these currencies has fallen a lot. What happened during the COVID times is that the real GDP growth was going negative, and the governments needed to sustain their debt, so they printed just more money out of the thin air. I mean, sure, they claim, they're the governments and they can do that, but it doesn't increase the production, it doesn't increase the economic growth. And now, we, the people, are paying a high price for it. We are seeing severe economic setbacks. How do you feel when, month by month, the amount of goods, the amount of food, the amount of anything that you can purchase is decreasing? Does it make any sense to save any money at all if it's just going to be eaten away? A hidden tax caused by government's inability to sustain economics without just printing more money. And when you couple such money printing with high inflation caused by price gouging and corporations trying to rake in as much profits as possible, then you're feeling that there's no future at all. And our kids are supposed to live in a place like that. Just imagine, you're working hard for your paycheck, and day by day, you can afford less and less and less. Is this the factor that is going to cause an economical growth in the long term, or it's just going to leave a lot of people dissatisfied in the current state of things? How more do we need to suffer? How more do we need to go and hustle, find second jobs, find additional opportunities, freelance, think about how to invest into different type of assets, just not to see money being eaten away as the time goes by? But don't worry, there is some hope. You might ask me, so what is the plan? And the plan is simple, just buying and holding, or as in crypto terms, buy and hodl. And the asset we're talking about today is Bitcoin. Hey, wait. You might say, oh, it's too simple. It might sound simple, but buying and holding is one of the hardest things to do. This is the same reason that meditation is so hard. Your mind is inclined to search and, do something. It seems that by doing nothing, you will never accomplish anything. But in fact, this strategy has worked over the years for majority of people who have invested into Bitcoin. Why Bitcoin, you might ask? Bitcoin itself was created in the last economical crisis of 2008. The first block of Bitcoin has a message engraved into it. And the message states, the chancellor is on the brink of second bailout to the banks. And that was in 2009, more than 10 years ago. And we might ask, what has changed during these 10 years? And if we look at the economical factors, even more money has been printed since then. The banks are still collapsing. The government is fighting the inflation, fighting the consequences of its own economic activity by tightening the investment rates, yes, we're all paying that price. That price where the government has printed a lot of free money. The free money that the corporations have exploited against us, that have pumped their own stocks, bought them back, while the majority of people have never seen that money. But now, we are paying that price. It is like Bitcoin was born as an alternative to traditional finance system. There will only be 21 million Bitcoins created. No more, no less, infinitely divisible, backed by pure energy, irrespective of its location. There's no central authority to regulate Bitcoin. There's no CEO of Bitcoin that can, come in and change the protocol. We would have to agree on that. This makes Bitcoin one of the hardest forms of money ever created. And if compared to gold, the amounts of gold that can be mined can be increased. While the Bitcoin follows its algorithm, there will be 21 million Bitcoins. That's it. This buy and hold strategy has worked for majority of Bitcoin investors so far. The investors that didn't fall into fear, uncertainty, and doubt and held on to their Bitcoins for at least several years. But remember, as with all investments, it comes with its own set of risks. Don't invest more money that you can afford to lose, and do your own research. The goal of this channel is to help you understand the information, how to interpret it, and make informed decisions. So in the end, you can create wealth instead of losing it. All we want is a better life for ourselves, and not just ourselves. A better life for our families, our kids, the future generations. I mean, who would have knew that by increasing the productivity, increasing the output, the future generations we need to work more instead of less, that we need to hustle or do extra work just to sustain the same type of life we were expected to have. And this all can happen if we don't have a hard money that can't be inflated away, a hard money that we can trust that will remain its value after a long time. If you own one Bitcoin, it will always be worth one Bitcoin. So how about we make a commitment to each other? Here and now, let's promise to stay informed, to be committed to our own decisions, to do our own research, to understand what is the economic impact of our governments with their decisions, and what can we do to ensure that we will have a long and prosperous lives. We're in this journey together, and no matter what the banks or governments do, we need to be the captains of our own destiny. And in next episodes, we will start the journey together, from buying Bitcoin to storing Bitcoin to avoiding potential pitfalls that come up when you start this journey. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time. Bye.